it is time we look into services and start providing some education to our citizens. But first, let's take a look at some of the things that we achieved last time. So we started the city, we have some low density zoning, we have some medium density row housing in here as well. We now have the medium density housing because we just reached milestone number 2. Milestone number 2 also gives us education, and that's very, very important. So one of the things that will make or break your city is basically education, because if you don't get enough educated citizens, you can get demand for offices, for example, or for high density commercial, high density residential, and that's very, very important. Although we don't need college or anything straight away, we will start with elementary school and then we will take things from here. So usually you want to put this in an area that will actually benefit everyone surrounding you. And we are on a beautiful sunrise over here. Look at this, how nice that is. Just beautiful, beautiful views on this game. Like, this is just fantastic. But as we have this beautiful sunrise, we will look into this and figure out a way or a place to get our school. Or, yeah, I think this area might be good enough for that. It will have like an awesome view and also will be close to all the housing that we already have in this area. I'm keen in doing something like this. I could also change a little bit on how this all looks like. And what I'll do, I will bring the terrain a little bit further back here. And then we will play around with this area. Don't think we need to just level everything, but just a little bit of the area in there, just so we can fit this somewhere around here, and then we can make it a little bit nicer. I'll put in there, of course, we need some roads in here. So what we'll do, well, actually, if I can make this work right there, and the idea was that this one would go straight into there. I think I will still do it. I think that'll be all right. Give us an area to play around slightly in this region, and I'll also soften the terrain over here just to make it a little bit nicer. Still pull this a little bit further back and make this go around like so. Feels like we need to do a little bit in here as well. Yeah, there we go. All right, our school is in place. 28 students already in place. If you look in here, you see that we have 87 eligible. So this should start getting more and more students into this area, 32 now. And one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that changes in this game, they take a while to make an effect. For example, they are starting to complain about high rent because we don't have enough housing for the people. If you look at the statistic for population, 0% unemployed, which means that we might have a lot of jobs available. Yeah, there we go. We are on minus 47, 48, something like that. And we need more housing, which means more people coming to live in here. I'll start with the easy thing, which is add a little bit more housing just around the school over there. I think that will help. I will also do a little more of the rural housing, but as we've done before, I'll use the North American because it does look a little bit better in my opinion. And then we will look around this area because I think we might be able to use this area over here. Actually, doesn't have as much noise as I expected, so we may expand this with more housing. I'll start with just that. Maybe we go with medium density in here We'll see how that goes, and hopefully that will help us out. All right, let's speed things up a little bit so we get this a little bit faster. We now have 86, and I think, yeah, we have everyone except one person on school. What's the size of the high school? High school, it's a much larger building. So I'll wait a little bit before we do that. We do have a little bit more demand for commercial though. Although if you look at people to work on this place, maybe we wait a little bit for that. Also keep that in mind, it's not because you have like the demands in here that you need to make like as much as possible available. Otherwise you start seeing not enough customers like this one, because there's not enough people in the city, and not enough labor like this one. So we need to balance things out. It's not just a matter of attending to the demands, but you have to keep an eye on this as well to make sure that you actually do what's best for your city. So maybe we start looking into medium density. How does the EU medium density housing look like? I will grab this area and we'll take a look at how that looks like. They shouldn't be very large buildings, but I think that'll be good. That is also closer to the highway, and we have points in here that we can start unlocking things as well. And I think I will want to start unlocking some things. One of them will be the advanced road services, and the reason why I want to unlock that is that we can now go into here and make sure that we add like grass and trees to our main roads. I feel like this is one of the main roads, so we are adding grass on one side, now we add grass on the other side. Just a matter of drag and click, drag and unclick or release, and then you get that in the whole road. Another one that I think we should have some trees and some grass is in here. Also, that removes the ability for cars to park on these roads that we have grass. So keep that in mind as well. We can also look at places where we might have some traffic lights. I don't think we have traffic lights anywhere, as we have the roundabouts in there. So we should be good for this. But we could remove traffic lights with this option, the traffic lights option. And later on, we can do our road maintenance depot to help maintain and preserving all the roads in here. I'm also thinking that would make sense. I don't know if it would make sense, but I'm thinking about this road in here would also be nice to have grass and trees on that. Oh, that is not exactly what I wanted. So it also tries to like get shortcuts when you do this. So sometimes you have to be a little bit more intentional with what you're doing. Cool. And then the trees will also grow in the roads, like on the side road, or when you put them down. And within time, this will look better and better. Feels like we've chose like a very rainy map by the looks of it. It's summer and raining. All right, I think we will hopefully survive all of this. But oh, look at the buildings over there. All right, I like that. I love how much detail these buildings have, like from the roof, like as you can see, the roof there, lots of detailing, antenna, this kind of rail in here to help people walk in there, I would think, and aircon, chimneys, and all sorts of stuff. I really like it. And demand for medium is still growing, so I will finish in this area adding a little bit more and might try to add a little bit more trees just in this little corner in here. Feels like we do have some small gaps that we could fill and have some more trees. And as you know me, there is always more space for one more tree in the city, and we need to make sure that we add those. A happy city is a city with trees. And the citizens will be happier, there'll be more birds, there'll be more wildlife, there'll be lower temperatures because of all the greenery around, and this will help quite a lot. I like these houses in here, especially this interesting shaped fence in there. Although the terrain is actually rectangular, I think this breaks the pattern a little bit. The same with this one, having this hedge going around here. It's quite nice. I really like that. Alright, this is starting to grow. How is our school now? 130 people, very good. Let's take a look at our unemployment again. 2%, so that means that we are starting to change the balance. In real life, the ideal goal for the unemployment is 4%, meaning that it's not that people don't have a place to work, but they can actually switch jobs without much problem. So it's just a population that's currently without a job at that specific moment, so they are looking for something else and they can find that there are jobs available. Like here, we still have more jobs available still, so we could bring even more people. And I do think this area would still be medium density. I think that would make a lot of sense in having that in there. And we can start thinking about what else we have in here. So we have more need for industry, by the way. We could come in here and add a little bit more. Feels like that should be what we do. And let's add a little bit more. As you can see, we've added a little bit and there wasn't enough. Add a little bit more and demand has gone down quite a lot. So I would stop here. I could just add for the whole area and happy days, you know? But I like to give it time because again, Cities Skylines 2, it takes some time for things to balance, and it's important to give that time for your city. One other thing that I would love to unlock as soon as possible is leisure or parks and recreation, but we need milestone 4 for that, so that'll take a little while still. If I have to guess what people will be complaining is health, actually. Let's see. They are unreliable healthcare coverage, and over here, the same deal. We could also look, there are some options that we can look at information in the city. We could look in here and you can see that we have some unoccupied buildings for low density. So that is something. We also have some unoccupied buildings for medium density. And as you can see, this keeps changing. These are basically people moving in and out or people dying, things like that. And there is a lot of demand for commercial. Local demand, labor availability, and high-skilled labor availability. So we can start looking into some of those items and help them out with this. Let's start over there and see how that plays a role. As you can see, more than enough to keep this going, and this area will start being covered. And we are at night again. I do love the day-night life cycle, but I do think for content creation, it gets really hard to see what's happening at night in the city. And although like it still looks pretty good, and I think you could look even at things like you can almost see what's inside there, and I just love this amount of details in these buildings. Like this is pretty cool, being able to kind of see what's in there. Not really see, but it's blurred on purpose, of course. but it gives you an indication. Oh, someone was forgotten in here. Like waiting, working. Interesting. The Higgins family. Where do you live? Let's see, where do you live? Oh, you work very closely to your home. That's the perfect job, I would say. Well done, you deserve it. I really like it. And look at all the cars going through the highway there. Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful stuff. How is this highway going, by the way? This is also looking good. And as you can see, they actually change for high beams and for normal lights. I do love this kind of detail, like it's just fascinating. Hold on, let's take a look at those. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see it. There we go. Awesome. It's just like, oh, it's very nice. I really like, and I like that just the first vehicle actually uses high beams. The ones behind it, they don't use it, and makes totally sense. Like you don't want anyone behind you with high beams, right? And if you're in the front and there is no one coming on the other way, you usually have it. So it's very, very good. Yeah, love it. Really, really love it. So, all right, we've done our school. The school is being successful so far. We have more money coming through. I think we do need a lot more things in here. One of the things that I wanted to do is actually to expand the road system, but let me change this for daytime because we need to see what's happening. There we go. Now it's much better for us to understand what's going on in here. So I think this area in the middle there, we will keep it as it is at the moment, because we might do, as we mentioned, the forestry industry, and we use this area as the place for it. And I think that would work well for us. But the problem then is that we are very limited at the moment in terms of location for residential. Oh, we reach another milestone. That's awesome. Gives us a lot of things, more money, which is always good. Give us more tiles to buy and more points. Give us, oh, the livestock farming. Oh, we can now see the resource as well. Let's take a look at natural resource. So yes, we do have some in here. We could get some farms. We do have some in there as well. And I quite like that. Now, for livestock though, we don't need fertile land. That is the deal with this. So what I'm thinking is that we may use this area for some livestock. And I think that would be pretty cool. Could put it in here or over there. I may do only one and fill this whole area. And I think this would be good enough. So let's get this done. Just for the sake of making things faster, I will get this in here. There we go. And then what we can do is change the area and make something that fits our layout a little bit better. Let me do this and I'll be right back. Okay, and now we have it. So I'm leaving this space here on purpose because I think, I don't know, we can put something here. I don't know what yet, but we will figure that out. And we probably need more people working on here. Yeah, we have, again, a lack of people in the city. So we will definitely sort that out. We may do some housing around this area. Talk about what we'll do. Let's go. This is the whole area that we have, and we could not buy everything. Would love to, but we can't. But what we can start doing, we have some lands in here that we could use without actually unlocking anything. And we do have some very good areas around here as well, actually. I just wonder how is the elevation on all the surroundings in here. Yeah, there's a bit of an elevation in there. We can work with that. What about on this side? We could work on this area as well. We can get like a bridge over here, and then could unlock this one as well and start expanding. I think like that's what we do. Get this tile in here, maybe that one, and we have 12 tiles, by the way, so I may just start expanding this way. 30,000 for those tiles, and we have much more space to build. And just because it has like a tiny bit in there, I'll also get that one sorted. And then we can play around with this area. Now, I will draw some road layouts in here. I might actually get these a little bit better, the terrain in here, because it's looking kind of messy, lots of bumps here and there. Although I don't want to completely change the landscape in here, I think that will help us a little bit to get a little more residential in this area. And we can certainly use the soften terrain tool to get this slightly better. And we should be good, I think. Yeah, love that this bridge goes like that though. Really nice. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so then the idea is that we expand over here. And just for me to take a look at what the elevation is like. This elevation here is the same as this one. So we could bring a road that crosses and connects in here. Yeah, I need to make sure to try to keep the elevation the same in there. Just a little bit challenging, but we will try to get, maybe if I do like the right thing in here, will make my life a lot easier. I think this is good enough. And then we go back to ground level. There we go. Although this feels like too high, what I might do, I might use this as a guide and then we try again. I think that might work a little bit better. Now, let me do the road layout in here and I'll be right back. Okay, roads are placed. Again, I've used the alleys to create this. I've also done, let me show you so that makes a little bit more sense as well. Try to keep the zoning as very small in here. Oh, we have a new signature building, the Pop Musician Mansion. And I think I definitely want to use it. This area is pretty cool for this, because then I think it makes sense maybe at the end here to have it in there. Feels like the right place for the Pop Musician Mansion. Although this increased the well-being, you know what? We might change the place for this and put that in a more central place, just because this gives us more bonuses if we do it like this, right? It goes around like this whole area. So I think that's a little bit better. And then let's add all the zoning in here. One thing that I could do is just use this tool and go around here and do something like that, just to make sure that we cover all the areas. But on this side, there are a few areas that I want to be careful what I do and how I do it. I'll also probably replace some of these buildings with one or two commercial, but for now, let's go all of this and we should be okay. I'd love to see the contour while seeing the housing in there, because then I could make a decision on how big the plot of land is in there. I will also update the roads here to make sure that the main ones we have grass and trees, and by the main ones I mean those two. Nice. This will start looking very, very good very soon. And one thing that we can't miss in here is to add one more tree, of course. This will give them an opportunity to actually grow. And oh, look at that. Not enough customers again. So we may be having some issues with people again in the city. If you look at this, yeah, we need a lot more people. So we can start, obviously this will change that a little bit. And we are at 1,300 people already. And this should jump quite a lot now that we are adding a lot more houses in this place. I wonder if this area would be nice to have some medium density, but I don't think so. I think this will look better with just these types of roads in here. Oh, I can put tiny roundabouts in here. That's pretty cool. I'll add one in there just because it won't remove any of the houses. Oh, that's so cool. All right. Definitely doing that in this place where we can. Look at this. So cute roundabouts. Nice. Obviously, as you can see in this area, you have a little bit less of pathways or no pathways at all other than the roads themselves. And the reason for that is because later we'll do public transportation in here. So we'll look at that in probably in the next episode or so. We definitely need more people in there. And although they're complaining about rent, it's because of the lack of place to actually live. And this is something that affects quite a lot the price of the lands and the rent in the city. Something else that we could look at doing is basically could add more row housing in here. But these ones, I think, will reduce their size just so the terrain is not all messed up. And our farm, livestock farm, is doing very well, although we could have one more person working in there. We need more and more people joining this area. What we could do is use this for a little bit more of density, or we can start looking into other areas like this area or that area over there. How's education going? Pretty good. How's demand going? Demand for high school is in college. They're very, very high. College is probably the most important education that you can have in your city. I think for the high school, there'll be a question mark for me yet on where that goes. I'll try to put in here and play around with this. All right, the high school is now added, and you can see that we have these working in here, although this is far away. For now, this will be integrated in the city as we grow it as well. So the road goes around here. We have this bridge now going in there. From here, we have some connections to the industry and around here towards the city as well. Still making money, that is good, although a lot less because we do have a new high school in here and not as many people to attend the demand, I would say. Now, we do need a few things. If you look at, for example, police, the average crime probability, 96%. That's terrible. So maybe we should look into that and make it slightly better. I think we could do that. Let's add it in there. And hopefully we'll see, yeah, police cars already going out for patrolling. And they are already looking for something. Let's see. Oh, that was pretty close, I guess. I think with the amount of crime in the city, they will do quite a lot at the beginning, while this will start reducing from 96 to something more bearable. As you can see, we have more cars in here as well, going for patrolling. Buildings are looking a little bit greener. And the values here is already like 20% here and a few percent in there, but it's going down. So that's what we want to see. And this will make people a little bit happier as well. And in theory, bring more citizens to the city and make the city start to move a little bit better. Now, there's a lot of other things that we need, and I'll go into the negative here a little bit. That's fine, but we need a fire and rescue place. This is potentially one of the main risks that we have in here. Still pretty far from everything, but I think this might be the best place for that, and we unlock a new milestone, which gives us the forestry industry, yes, and public transportation, by the way, and parks and recreation. Oh, everything that we wanted. And look at our autumn trees now. They look awesome. Whole map looking like that. Oh, those colors is just so beautiful. But let's see if we can get our forestry industry in here. We definitely can, although there is a lot of very small trees over there, and we won't have as much, well, I want to say revenue, but it's not really revenue. This is actually, well, it is, right? But we won't get as many trees working in our favor in there. Still plenty of space to grow. And what I might end up doing is actually replacing the... Oh, we now have high demand for low renting houses. How is the land value? Because one of the things that I've learned is that if the land value is too high, there is no point in actually adding that. But if we go into this area, for example, where the land value is not that big, and maybe because of the highway it will never be, then we could get away with that. And this will increase the population quite a lot in there as well. And we have a little bit, just a little bit of demand for offices. And I'll get some in here. In terms of unemployment, I think we are good. Probably like 1-2% unemployment. Oh, 14%. Interesting. I wonder if that's because of the education level. Missing well-educated. Missing well-educated. Missing well-educated. There we go. Yeah, we definitely need a college very, very soon. And we have our first car accidents in here. Look at that. Oh. Content in a traffic accident, involved in an accident. Child by himself. What could go wrong? Yeah, they'll survive for now. The problem is that we don't have any road maintenance tools, or what's that called? This building here, road maintenance depot, just because that's very expensive for now to have that in there. So we are definitely not having it. Yeah, I feel like we need to start expanding on this area, but with this little island expansion in here, I'm quite happy with this. These trees are starting to grow as well. If you look at that, 401, 305. By the way, a mature tree goes up to 2000. So this is a fully mature tree. And we have this vehicle working in here. Log loader. There we go. But everything is working, although with a few problems in terms of not enough customers. That's why I said, like, don't just add a lot of commercial. Sometimes you don't need as much as that. So we can definitely change this in here. And I think for us to get more demand for residential, we need to add some medical clinic or parks. Let's add a couple of parks in here just to make sure that they are happier. The small plaza gives like a big bonus. I will give this one a go over here. And we might do this one over there. So we cover that area. And over here, around the industry, I'll keep it as it is. I won't do that. But this should start creating a little bit more demand, as you can see. Will balance itself out, but they are also asking for more jobs. And as you can see, there is a lot of demand for residential, industrial, and commercial. I think I will focus a little bit more on industrial, and I'll get all of this. That'll be all that they would want in there. And hopefully, as soon as that's in, we'll start seeing these buildings coming in place as well, because this will create a lot more jobs and will balance the unemployment. We just had like a big downwards, and there you go. They are starting to come. So there you have it. Adding some education and public services to start improving the overall feeling in your city, overall wellness, and justify those high rents as well. Also, when you have high rents, could basically mean that you don't have enough places for new houses or new people to move in, and with that, the prices are just going up and up. So keep that in mind when you are playing the game. But a big progress, a lot more industry, a new island just on the other corner as well. Love these new trees in autumn. They look fantastic, and I just want to see more and more of that. For today, thank you very much for all your time, for your questions, your likes, your comments. Really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.